Yo guys, what is up? It's P from PTV. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got an Outriders episode for you guys that's completely based around the top 5 Pyromancer mods that are, generally speaking, the best mods that you can have across the board. Now, some of you guys know who've been following me for a while, I main the Pyromancer. This is literally the only character that I have. I do not have another created character, and I have over 200 hours into this class. I'd like to think that I know what I'm talking about, and it's allowed me to establish a fairly large mod library. So I wanted to put together the top 5 Pyromancer mods for you guys if you're looking to sort of optimize your builds, if you're thinking about being a little more creative, or if you're getting into the Pyromancer for the very first time coming from a different character. If you appreciate this type of content, please make sure to like and subscribe. I want to appreciate, you appreciate me putting on the list here. That said, let's jump right into the video. All right, for our first mod, it is a weapon mod, and this one's going to be pretty obvious. Now, if you would have asked me about a week and a half ago before the gameplay patch, I would put this one at number 1, but today it's going to come in at number 5, Perpetual Mobile. This is a mod right here for all of my bullet firepower builds right here. So if you want to go into the ash tree and do an ash bullets type of build, this one right here is going to allow you to replenish your magazine if you kill an enemy with 35% less ammo in your mag. So every single time you pop volcanic rounds and you want to make sure that you can have volcanic rounds active as much as possible, all you have to do is peep when your ammo gets to 35% less or less, and then kill an enemy. Look over to an ad and pop them in the head real quick, and boom, you've got your ammo replenished. This one is super powerful and allows you to keep your volcanic rounds up as much as humanly possible, which allows you to do more DPS. That makes Perpetual Mobile number 5 on the list. Not like I said, it would be number 1, but the gameplay nerf to the bullet builds has caused this one to drop. Coming in at number 4, we've got Strength from Fire. Now, this is a tier 3 mod that I found on a weapon set. Can't remember exactly which one it was, but this tier 3 mod gives a heat wave skill, or a heat wave mod. Using the skill grants 8 seconds of 10% weapon damage bonus for each affected enemy. What that means essentially is if you use heat wave and if you hit a bunch of enemies at once, if you hit a bunch of ads at once from the trash mobs and things like that, your weapon damage is going to have a substantial increase for 8 seconds. So if I hit 10 enemies, I could have an additional 100% weapon damage for my bullet build that we just talked about. And if I can make sure that my heat wave has somewhere around 10 seconds or less cooldown, this mod becomes ridiculously overpowered, especially when you can have the uptime on it. 10-second heat wave, you can have this done 8-second difference. So there's 2-second difference where you're not doing any damage. So the more underneath 10 seconds you can get, the stronger the mod becomes. And I feel like it's pretty self-evident. You're dishing out a lot of damage per second with those bullet builds using this mod. Coming in hot at number 3, pun intended, we have Bullet Kindling, which is a tier 2 armor mod. This deals 20% more damage to enemies afflicted by burn. Given that we are a Pyromancer and we have skills such as overheat, among all the other skills that set things on fire, we can literally walk into rooms and set the entire room ablaze. That said, it is so easy just to have this mod procced, given that everything is just always on fire. The substantial increase in damage with 20% more given to enemies who are already burnt, and it's just super easy to keep that up. I mean, this one really can't be beat, and you could spread this across most of the Pyromancer, if not all of the Pyromancer builds. This one's got to come in. I mean, it was always going to make the list. It's just too good. Coming in at number 4, we have the tier 3 armor mod called Branded. This is a thermal bomb mod. Enemies affected by the skill receive 40% more damage. Now, if you watch any of my build videos, you know that when I do in fact run this on my builds, I like to make sure that I also have the mod that allows me to cast thermal bomb twice. So if I cast this twice on the same enemy, I know there's some contention around this idea, but this does stack. So when I cast it twice, instead of 40%, we're automatically doubling that to 80% more damage, and it allows me to melt elites and melt single target enemies a little bit faster, which in my opinion, I've noticed that the Pyromancer is very, very good with AoE. He's very, very good with clearing out large trash mobs, but we sometimes struggle with the elite damage, right? The elite one-on-one damage. So this right here especially the idea that you can double up and get 80% more damage from it. It helps us melt those one-on-ones and really just allow us to have a strength in where I feel like the Pyromancer is naturally weak. This one is so strong, it had to be put at number 2. I also mentioned number 1 in my latest build video, and you guys might be a little underwhelmed by this one. It is a tier 2 mod that you probably already have. It is a defensive mod called Emergency Stance. Now, Emergency Stance allows you to attain a golem protective effect for 4 seconds whenever your health drops below 30%. On the surface, that probably doesn't sound awesome, right? 4 seconds of uptime doesn't sound too beneficial, but if I told you right now, as it stands at the date of this video, this mod is glitched, and all you need to do is have this mod proc once in any expedition run, and it is set for the entirety of your run, right? So you get that golem protective effect for the entire run. It is glitched. It does not go away. Now, I wouldn't give you this as it's glitched right now and just have it's not necessarily an exploit, but have a glitch be number 1 on the list without giving you an alternative to the people who take offense to glitches and exploits. So although this other mod, this alternative, does not deserve to be number 1 on the list, it is still very, very powerful. It's called Damage Absorber, which is a tier 2 armor mod that increases your armor by a substantial amount. At level 50, it's increasing my armor by 52,659 and also increases my resistance by 10%. This is a passive mod. It is always active and you don't need to do anything to proc it, making it also a very, very good defensive mod to have. Now, I could not have a top 5 list without also incorporating some of the tier 1 mods that are very, very good, but I decided to leave them out of the top 5 only because I feel like they're so build dependent, right? Some of them are very effective for some builds and some of them are very effective for others, right? Some may be completely irrelevant based on the build that you have, but do not ignore this tier 1 mod library as it is still very, very good. For many of these, you have the opportunity to cast them twice before they are allowed to cooldown, which is also a very, very strong mod effect, given that you want to, be able to do the most DPS and cast them as many times before cooldown. Just make sure that you can give out more damage per second every second. There are also tier 1 mods such as True Blast from Thermal Bomb, and there are many others like this for the other tier 1 skills. But they increase the damage from the skill and essentially just, that's also going to increase your DPS. So if you find that you have a mod slot that you don't have a mod for, maybe you've not obtained it yet, or you just want to get some more damage done, you can always just look at the tier 1 mod library, and I guarantee there's something that you can throw in there to replace that until you get some of the stronger tier 2 or tier 3 mods. In closing, I would always recommend to make sure that you go through the entire mod library when looking through your build. If you're not the type to go through build guides on YouTube, but you're the type to try to figure things out for yourself, make sure that you're looking at all the mods in every single library. Just because a mod is tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 does not make it any more or less powerful than another one. You need to make sure that you understand what your build does. You need to understand what your skills are doing and how you're trying to cycle through them. You need to understand the continuity between the mods and make sure that you have them synced up so that there's some symmetry going on between them and they can affect each other. That is what makes a good build. So if you guys appreciated this video, this top 5 Pyromancer mod video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free and it helps me out so much. Also, comment down below which mods you think are the best. If I missed any, or if you just really want to celebrate one that's on the list, feel free to do that in the comment section down below. That said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one, man. Peace.